Hey guys, I'm back! Can you believe it? It's been like 2 months since I've been on this guy. And I literally just walked out of the barn and got on him. So you're gonna see everything about how I start a horse back up after some time off and what the first ride is like. I have been doing over the past 2 months a little bit of neuroplasticity movement exercises. I've been doing a little bit of lunging, and I've been doing a little bit of groundwork so that they just don't totally sit. But we've been under snow, we've had frozen ground, we've had some wicked winds whipping across here, and literally between that and the lack of daylight hours, he literally has not been ridden since right around Christmas. So it's been right about 2 months. So we're going to start a little bit today, just kind of going over, how do we start a horse back up? He's 6, so I didn't really have to like restart him. I will go through that process with my coming 4-year-old a little bit with you, but he's, well broken. I hate that word, but well broken. And so literally this is like first ride. This is the evaluation ride. This is I have no expectations on rides like today because I don't expect him to remember anything. I don't expect him to feel good in his body. I expect him to maybe struggle with carrying rider weight again. I mean, he hasn't even had the saddle on in 2 months. So yeah, not a lot of expectations. We're just coming out here to do an evaluation and to kind of start the process. So I'm just going to walk you through that today. So I'm going to just start walking, basically. It's fairly warm out today, which is really bizarre because we've had a really tough winter for us. Just a lot of really, really cold nights, cold days too, but wind chill factors down in single digits and 0 and stuff like that. So just really cold. So right from the get-go, I feel like his neck is a little short. And I don't necessarily want him to be on the bit, but I want him to stretch that neck out and not kind of hold it up in his body. That's a little bit maybe how he was holding himself this winter while he was cold. And I want him to learn to walk out and through his back. So it's just a reintroduction to stretch to the bit. And walk all the way through your body. So it's not just your legs walking, but I want to feel his back moving underneath my seat. So I do that a little bit with an opening rein and an inside leg because it encourages them to kind of give in the rib cage a little bit and stretch down. And then I'm here to support him and ride forward. And he's like, I'm a little bit of a drunken sailor. And again, we're going to just kind of use the corner to kind of open up and encourage him to go down. So that's what the opening rein does. It really helps in the beginning for sure for them to start to stretch down and out. And today's ride is only going to be about 10-15 minutes max because he's not fit. And I mean, the good thing about this is neither am I for the winter. I've done some hiking and such, but I'm out of shape too. My core is out of shape. And so this is a good way for the two of us to kind of start this process of getting back in shape. I will say that this process is different when I have a horse that I'm just getting on because time off of weather versus getting on a horse that I've had time off because he had an injury. So I always ride with a physical therapy type of mindset about how can I get this horse to go better in his body and use himself better. But when you're rehabbing an injury, there's set protocols for one, and two, that really you have to really consider, you know, what has their body been doing? How has it been healing? What is reception like? And there's a set protocol of where you're walking for so many minutes and then, you know, and then you're slowly building back up. It's a little bit different than this. He has been out. He has been moving around. He has been able to, you know, canter around the fields and maintain a little bit of fitness just because he's out there moving around all the time, as opposed to a horse that's coming off a stall rest. He has been doing, you know, in hand work and on the ground work and stuff like that. So he's not completely coming off of something like stall rest because he injured himself. I like the snorts. I don't know if you guys saw it because I was talking, I had a little difficulty in change of direction. Right to anyhow. This is good. I like the snorts. He's like stretching out his back a little bit. He is doing really well actually with moving off of the inside leg and bending. If you notice, he's starting to go down and stay down. Of course, he just lifted his head when I said that, but I feel like there's a little better connection in the rein, even though he's being light. You know, all these things are just like, we have to reinitiate all this. He's had 2 months of not having to do any of these kind of things. I'm going to go ahead and change direction again. And I probably will not canter today. So that's like the easy direction to change from left to right for him. And I'll go just a circle in this direction and then I'll change again. I usually won't canter for like the first week or two because really a way to build fitness is lots of trot. And the only thing that I might make an exception with this horse in particular with that idea is because the canter helps him loosen up his body so much. And I will not be opposed to just like 2-point cantering him a little bit if I feel that we go up into the trot and he's just really sticky. But probably not today. I probably honestly will just do some walk trot transitions today. And maybe later this week. Okay, he jigged a little bit there, but he did come off of my left leg and go into the left bend. You know, no big deal. You're okay, bud. You're okay. Yeah, good. Don't really want to shorten my reins too much because I want to him have his head to stretch down today. And but we're not. I know. So this is a sign of tightness in the back. If they can't go down and stretch and stay in a nice, even, free-flowing walk, then, you know, that's a little sign of tightness in his back. So kind of to be expected, right? So I'm not really doing anything but just quietly asking him to please walk again. And he doesn't have to go quite that low. Like if he can't stretch out that much, that's okay. And the way I can ask him to not go quite as low is just to put him on a more bending turn. Hey, walk. Yeah. So what I don't want him to do is kind of get into this jig thing because he's kind of fallen a little bit behind my leg with the jig. Yeah, I don't want you to jig. I want you to just walk. I don't want you to jig. So now I'm going to just leg yield a little bit and be like, no, that's not what we want. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Yeah. So just patiently remind him. Nope. Yeah. So, given that we're kind of getting this now that he wants to stretch down, I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm not going to go into the trot yet. Don't really want him to come up, but I am going to shorten my reins a little bit. And I'm going to go in the leg yield on the circle because this will help him loosen up. And I'm just going to do like one circle each direction. He hasn't done anything, so I'm not going to drill him in this. I just want to kind of help him loosen up a little bit, right? I mean, if I did a ton of it, I might risk making him sore because he hasn't done anything like that. And then we'll just go the other direction and I'll ask for a little bit of a leg yield in this direction. Good. Right hind, right hind, right hind. Yeah, good job. Right hind, No, not left shoulder, right hind. Yeah, good job. Good job. Good job. Make sure I stay sitting to the right and he doesn't push me off of that right hind. As soon as he goes to jig a little bit, I'm just going to put him back into that leg yield. Okay, now I'm going to do a little exercise while we're still in the walk. I'm going to come around and I'm going to leg yield off the wall, and I'm going to do to center line. So I'm going to change direction, leg yield him to the right, 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 to the right. Good. And then I'm going to turn to the left. So that's the same bend. I saw this actually, JJ Tate did this with one of her horses in the trot as a loosening up exercise, but I'm just going to use it here in the walk with him. And then we're going to come to center line again, a couple strides. Then we'll change the bend, change the seat bone, change the leg. I want to get him a little bit softer. There you go. Good. So he has a tendency to kind of throw his left shoulder out in this direction. Good. Now I don't have a ton of room, but I am going to go from center line. I'm going to leg yield back over, over, over. Oh, actually, I think I did that wrong. So I wanted to change direction again. I mean, change and leg yield back to the right. That's okay. No big deal. That was my screw up. But his walk's getting nicer. So we're just going to repeat that. We're going to leg yield to the right from here. And who cares? Like, it's a little kinky, right? Who cares? Like, he's just coming out and moving his body around for the first time in 2 months. That leg yield is a little sticky. It's okay. It's no big deal. Today, we're about moving body parts around, being patient, reintroducing him to carrying my weight, reintroducing him to body parts that he probably has not used a lot in the past 2 months. Because horses on their own will just go around in the most efficient way for what they need to do. Doesn't mean that it's the most efficient way for soundness or the most efficient way to be a dressage horse. It just means the most efficient way for them to get point A to point B, and that very well could be just leaning into things and going around, short strided. And this is where I messed up last time. I reinitiate that other bend and leg yield to the right. All right, now this sets me up to be able to go the other direction. So I'll be able to start over here. And then I just want to do this one time this direction, as long as it's not a catastrophe. And that is because I just want to do a little tiny, teeny bit, a TROT before we call it a day. And that will be it for him. Good job, bud. That was really good for him. Turn right, do a little 10-meter circle here. Check my position, because I'm going to have to do some position work on myself after having sat for 2 months too. And make sure that while I was sitting at the desk doing work, I didn't develop a bunch of really crappy habits. Hey, left hind. Yeah, good job. So that's what's difficult for him, is that idea of like, all of a sudden now he's been going around, not having to think about where his hind legs are. And now he's back in the saddle and he's having to carry weight, and he's having to think about where his hind legs are. So back over to the right, left. Ah, good job. Good. And then we'll turn. We didn't quite make it to the rail, but that's okay. All right, so now I'm just going to see if I can put him on a 20-meter circle or something and just have him stretch out at the trot a little bit. He's probably going to be a little sticky. That's okay. No. Trot. He wants to, no. We're trotting. We're trotting. We're trotting. I know. It's harder to trot. For him, this horse's favorite gait, and the one that I think he feels the most balanced at in his inside, internally, intrinsically, is that gait there. But I just want him to do a little bit of trot work. Good job. So we'll go down here a little bit. No. And sometimes it's almost like you think that maybe he wants to canter because he's not sound, but that's not the case, because there we go. Good job, bud. And I'm kind of giving him a little like contact with the reins. I'm not really, I just want him to stretch to the bit. There we go. There's how you lengthen out. Good job. All right, so we're going to change direction. And I don't care. He feels a little rough, right? He's a little inconsistent in his tempo. Good. Yeah, good job. Good bend. Good bend. And I don't care. Like, I don't expect him to come out, even with the quality of gaits, or even with the same tempo that he had when he last was ridden. Come, I know. A little bit. Stretch it out. Come. Just want him to stay going forward, which is kind of his MO. Anyhow, come. Make sure my left shoulder is up, not falling off. Keep his left shoulder up. Good. Left bend. Left bend. Forward. There. Good. Left bend. Forward. Left bend. Yeah. And then I'll let him walk. And I'll let him have a free walk on long rein. So not bad for our first walk and trot. Even I'm out of breath. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I need fitness too. So this will be good. I'll get it faster than they will though, because I have 3 of them. So I will be working out 3 times to their 1 time, but that's good. I like the snorting now that we've done trotting. So the only other thing I'm going to do today is there's no way that I would expect him to have the core stability to be able to handle me at the sitting trot, right? That would be unrealistic. And so I'm not even going to attempt anything like that. I'm going to go, and I want him to stretch. I'm going to keep him stretching. I'm not going to bring him up. I'm not going to put him on the bit. I'm not going to like make him use his hind legs. None of that today. That will come in a few weeks, actually. Yeah. Good. Walk on. Yeah, good job. So just because, and it's a little bit of his MO, but it's also a little bit of tight, just an indication of tightness in the back. So I want a little looseness there. Good. And I'm going to let the reins back out. And I want to practice this. I want to be able to bring up the rein, shorten the rein up slowly, and not have him jig or get worried or nervous about it, because that is not good. And then I can ask for a little trot transition. Good. I feel your little left butt cheeks to the inside a little bit, bud. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. Good. Back to the walk. Keep the same walk. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Yeah, good. And I don't want him going back up into it because he's tight in his back. That's what I don't want. Yeah, good job. So I'm actually going to go longer than a quarter of a circle because this isn't about precision of my circles or my driving or, my ability to ride the horse. This is about what's good for him today. And I don't want him to pick up the trot if he's going to be tight in his back and jig. And pick it up. And I think what would help you, is if you stretch a little bit more. I know it's hard to stretch. Good. Especially when you've had time off. It's hard to stretch. Good. And then I'm going to come back to the walk and get him to stretch down again. We'll do that one more time. That's a better walk. Yeah, you don't have to worry so much. We're not doing anything hard today. I know you misinterpreted that squeeze. That was my fault. Okay, and now both legs on, up into the trot. Good. Yeah. Yeah, good job. No, left shoulder, good. See how I concentrate on my left shoulder? His left shoulder gets better. Good. 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 I like that. Good job. And back to the walk. Change. So I know he's feeling better in his body when he starts to offer that little bit bigger trot. And as we know from history, it's easier for him to offer that going to the right, to the left. He has a tendency to get a little more crooked, which of course is worse because he's had time off. And it's a little bit harder for him to offer that bigger trot. So the fact that he did that for that like half circle was really good. So we're probably just going to do one or two transitions this direction. No, we are not. No, we are not. Good job. No, he still wants to canter. But see, he's easier to go into that bigger trot, which I really don't want today because he doesn't have the push behind. So I want to keep him a little bit not doing that today. I'm glad he wants to offer it because that means his back feels better. But if you notice, he really felt like his hind end was out behind him. You could probably see that on the video. And we don't want that. We want him to kind of stay a little bit close behind, meaning closer to his front legs, so that he doesn't have the strength yet to push that bigger trot out. Watch those hindquarters. No, like right there. I want you to stay in the smaller trot. There you go. Yeah, that's it. It's okay, you can stretch down from there, but I don't want you pushing off into the bigger. That's it. Good job. So that's actually harder for him than you think, oh, but the bigger trot's got to be harder. But no, the smaller trot, where he's having to keep his pelvis in the game, is harder. And for him, he's got to build the strength there, and then I can start pushing out for the bigger trot. You'll see on the video, that bigger trot will look actually weak. It won't look like it's a robust big trot. And while sometimes you have to ask for it to be able to get the push, that's not today, that's not next week. That's like sometime in March, maybe by the end of March, that we'll be working on that. But he's got to be able to go, slower. And what I mean by closed up is not closed laterally, but longitudinally, and not because I have him collected, but just because he's kind of keeping his hind end a little bit closer to his front end than he would naturally want to do. Naturally, he kind of likes to, we've talked about this with him, he really likes to kind of push off and keep the hind leg out there. He has an amazing ability, so weird, because in the groundwork, and he has an amazing ability to close, to actually tuck the pelvis. He's got a lot of flexibility in his lumbar. You would not know that by sometimes the way that what he wants to offer, but he has a really great flexibility in his lumbar region, in his SI region, to actually sit. But it's not even that he prefers not to. It's like he does it when he needs to do it. And then if he's like, well, I don't need to do it right now, he's like, out go the hind legs. Unlike Teddy, which sometimes he does it because of his weaknesses. This guy just is like, oh, I perfectly can do that, but I don't see the need to do that right now. But you can see him sit when he's playing out in the field. You can see him sit when we work on half steps on the ground. You can see him sit when I just give him proprioception of being able to move his pelvis in a different way. And it's so easy for him. But, it's in there. It's just that if he gets a little too open, his butt will stay behind him. And we don't want that. And that doesn't build strength at all. That doesn't build the kind of strength that we need. Okay, good job, bud. That's it. So I don't know how much that was. That might have been over 15 minutes because when I'm talking, it seems to drag it on a little bit. But that is first ride. So if the daylight holds out on us, I'm going to go get another horse and we're going to do first ride on another horse. And yeah, so we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much.